And we are live. Yo, 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 yo. It's your homeboy, Kiiro in the building. Welcome to episode 139 of One Piece Gist. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the warlords, or as you may know them, the Shichibukai. So this is basically just a Shichibukai appreciation stream, just spread the love, and anybody who got theories is gonna talk about theories and shit. Yo, what's up?
What up,
The
man?
building. Welcome to episode 139 of One Piece Gist. In this episode, we're gonna be talking
Could you
about
lower your speakers a bit?
warlords, or as you may know them, the Shichibukai. So this is basically just a
I do your speakers a bit too loud. But anyways, like I was saying, this is just a Shichibukai appreciation stream. So we're gonna talk about the Shichibukai in order of appearance, and just talk about theory, strength levels, and all sorts of shit. So I think we'll start. So in order of appearance, the first would be Buggy, but was he really Shichibukai? Like at that point he wasn't. But just for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna keep him. I guess we might as well start with Buggy. So Buggy, uh he's one of the funniest characters in One Piece, in my opinion. But as far as his strength goes, it's kind of weird because he's always going to be a funny character. He's always going to be about the jokes. So it's really hard to take him seriously, even if he really is strong, because his fruit isn't too shabby, especially if it gets awakened. It's going to be ridiculous if you can awaken shit with this fruit. And we shouldn't forget that this is the dude who, you know, he was a Roger Pirate, so he has conquered the Grand Line technically under the Roger Pirates. You know, so this is due with a lot of experience under his belt. He has a decent Devil Fruit, and the only real L he's taken in the series was, back in East Blue, Orange Town, I think, and that was when he ate a buggy ball, which is designed to destroy an entire town. So, I mean, he's got a lot going for him. He lost to Mihawk
Well,
too.
I mean, Mihawk didn't really slice him though. I mean, Mihawk sliced him, but didn't do anything because of his fruit.
That's true.
Uh, what do you think about Captain John's treasure? Because that's what Buggy's been looking for. Do you have any theories on it?
Well, personally, I don't have any theories on it, but I've seen a lot of theories on it. Like that might be the ultimate devil fruit. Like for example, the water devil fruit, but I'm not sure about it.
Hmm. Now, I don't think it's a devil fruit, but I do think it's something powerful because his crew killed him because of the treasure. His crew killed him, so it must be something really crazy for like your own, Nakama to turn on you and just murder you because he basically refused to tell them where he hid it, so they killed him for that, and that's how he died. And he's actually in Thriller Bark. He's one of those zombies that. Moria brought back one of the general zombies. So in Wano Kuni, which is supposedly the next arc after Dressrosa, we will hopefully find some more information on Ryuma, because Ryuma was also a general zombie, except uh, he specifically got Brooks. So, but the other general zombies, basically the general zombies are strong individuals. So like the corpses are corpses of really strong people, and then the shadows will determine the rest of the strength. So Ryoma had Ryuma's soul plus no he had sorry Brook's shadow plus it was Ryuma's corpse. So it was a really strong character, but not strong enough to beat Zoro.
So
But
does that mean that Captain John's from 102 or
No, not that he's from Wano, but I think from Wano Kuni, hopefully we'll find out how strong Ryuma was when he was alive, and from there we can make an estimation, a fair estimation of how strong Captain John was, because the general zombies you have to be about that life, about at least about that Ryuma life, to be classified or to get that rank of General Zombie, and Captain John was one of them. The only other one that we know by name is Ryuma. The rest were pretty much unnamed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that in Wano Kuni. And I think, you see, I wouldn't be surprised if Buggy has King Saki, but the problem is like King Saki has been kind of trash so far. All you can do is knock out further, and it's fancy, it looks flashy, but that's about it so far. And I think there's a lot more to it than that. But right now, that's all Luffy's really demonstrated. So hopefully, we'll see a bit more of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do think that Conqueror's Haki is kind of trash right now because you can only knock off water. But you want to know something interesting I found out? Like, people have been saying that you have to be born to use it, but I went back and I saw what really said. Really never said you have to be born to use it. Did you know that?
well, no, no, but he said that you're born with it, so it's like you
No, he
know.
never said that.
I'm pretty sure he did. He said that like only like one in a million people can ever use King Saki. Like it's something you're kind of born with. And I'm not saying like Luffy could knock people out when I was a baby or anything, but like you know you can either use King Saki in your lifetime or not. It doesn't really you can be about that life and not necessarily have King Saki. So not every strong character in One Piece is going to have King Saki, for example. I think that was basically the whole point. But so far, I mean, we've seen quite a lot of people post time skip. Like pre time skip, we just had Rayleigh, Luffy, maybe Dragon. That's we're unsure of that. Roger.
Yep.
Just a handful. But that's pre time skip. Post time skip, we've had Doflamingo, Don Chinja. That's already two people, and we're only like three arcs into it. So it's quite a
You
lot
think
with King
Sabo has it?
Saki. I doubt. I doubt he has it. Like, and it's not that he's not strong. I mean, I think he's stronger than Luffy, but he doesn't really need it. And yeah, he doesn't need it, and it's just that simple. Like King Saki serves a purpose, but right now it's just to be flashy.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think as the series goes on, we'll find out its true purpose. I think another thing is the Willa D. All the teased us about the Willa D. I was looking forward to seeing more of that in this arc. We haven't gotten anything about that yet, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to it concerning Buggy right now. It's just Captain John's treasure. He was a Roger pirate. He has strong will because he didn't pass out in Shank's presence. I mean, he was literally holding his freaking cord and shit. And
Wait, but did Shanks activate his hockey at that time?
he didn't, but like I don't think would have. I really don't think would have done anything because I mean, I'm sure someone would have. Like Bucky has a strong will. I don't think you could be a Roger pirate without a strong will. Like that's another thing. Every Roger pirate we've seen, apart from Crocus, which is the doctor that had the doctor that we met around the Alabasta arc around that era.
Yeah.
Remember him with the glasses? Yeah. Apart from him, every single Roger pirate, has had Kingsaki. That's Roger, Shanks, and really we haven't seen Scorpio Gabon, but I think we will see him post time skip. Like all we've seen about the Scorpio Gabon is we've seen him in pictures and shit like that. But he's basically my theory is that he's basically the Sanji of the crew, but that's still pretty good, for someone on Roger's crew. So
Yeah,
he
exactly.
should be pretty strong. What else does can I say about Buggy? Well, they said something about him post time skip. He has this like him and his crew. They have a new name. I think it's a Pirate Dispatch Squad or some shit like that. So I think we'll find out. We'll find out what that's about. But yeah, no, and one really like one thing that makes me think he has King Saki is because he has it seems like Bug is all about the joke, so we really can't take him seriously. But it really seems like a lot of people who are under him, even before the whole Marineford arc, a lot of people who are under him were arguably, on this level, if not stronger. Like Alvida has a really hacks fruit and all that kind of shit. And yeah, but he has this whole charisma and shit that makes people follow him. It's really similar to what Mihawk was saying about Luffy, that Luffy has this ability to get people to become his allies, and Buggy has a very similar thing.
He
So
has the strongest ability. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a hint at King Saki, but who knows? And it's gonna make for like a one of those surprises, like Buggy becoming a Shichibukai. That surprised a lot of people. So Buggy revealing that he has King Saki, that's gonna be another surprise kind of joke thing. But anyways, I think we should move on. That's pretty
Oh,
much everything about Buggy. It's
I
mainly
was gonna say something else about Buggy. I was gonna say like I don't know if you watch Toriko, but he reminds me of Komatsu. Like he's really lucky. So like, do you think that he'll end up becoming an emperor because of his luck?
mm, I mean, Buggy's fate it really revolves around Captain John's treasure. And that's another thing about Captain John's treasure, right? Is Buggy you see, that's the reason why Buggy has this fascination with treasure maps is because he's looking for anything that could lead to that treasure. And my theory is that Captain John might be maybe his dad or some shit. It's something more than money because I mean Buggy has searched for so much treasure, and he's conquered the freaking Grand Line. He's a former Roger pirate, so it's he's way past money by now.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying that he doesn't care about money, but Captain John's treasure isn't just gold. He wouldn't go through all that trouble just for one specific treasure box that might or might not have gold in it. I think it's something personal, so it's gonna have something to do with Buggy's history, most likely.
yeah.
That's another interesting thing is his nose. Maybe we'll find out that there's actually a whole you know island of people that look like Buggy. That would be amazing.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be. So, anyways, moving on to the next Shichibukai. So, in terms of appearance, after Buggy, we have Mihawk, who's technically the first Shichibukai we see since Buggy wasn't Shichibukai when we met him. But, anyways, Mihawk's entrance was one of the most ridiculous, entrances I've seen in anime. This dude, he sliced the ship in half, and at that point in One Piece, like that power level gap was just ridiculous. Like now we've seen much crazier stuff, but back then that
Yeah,
was
yo,
just
like back then they hyped him up so much. Like remember when Don
yeah.
Krieg met
I
with
mean,
like
back then we had fucking Don Krieg and Captain Crew. He had
yeah.
this dude slicing up ships, with little difficulty. And then we had the fight with him and Zoro, which is another ridiculous thing. That was just insane.
Everyone was like, "Don't go to the new road. There's a monster there." I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, yeah, he wiped out the whole of Don Krieg's fleet,
Yeah,
and it happened so fast that some of them couldn't even believe what happened. They thought it must have been a tornado or something that came and like, a lot of them refused to believe that it could have been a human being that did it. Like, man, you're speaking of human beings. Some people have theories that Mihawk might be a vampire or some shit like that, but I don't think he's a vampire because I mean, if he was, he wouldn't be able to go out in sunlight, but he might have a vampire mythical zone because the thing
ooh, I
is,
never thought of
if
that.
it's a zone, you can turn it on and off. You know what I'm saying? So he could have that.
Yeah, but like another thing that can debunk that is like usually the zones usually affect the humans. So don't you think he still will be unable to go into sunlight?
I mean, no, but the thing is that I mean, I can't really remember any zone that's like always on apart from Chopper. Chopper's like the only one who's like always in zone form. I mean, well, you do have Marco though. You have Marco, so yeah, it's just
Yeah, but
Chopper
I
and
do
Marco
get
pretty much.
I do get what you're trying to say though. I get it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a possibility because for that reason, but I don't know. Like the thing is, Zoro most likely won't have a Devil Fruit, and for that reason, I think some people are gonna nitpick him, like, "Oh, Mihawk has a Devil Fruit. This fight isn't that good because it's unfair." Blah 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 and stuff like that. But one thing is, at the end of the day, Mihawk he has only one sword, so I don't know by the end of the series. I don't know how that fight's gonna play out, but it's gonna be epic though. Zoro versus Mihawk. I can only imagine what Oda's gonna do with that, but it's gonna be interesting.
I yeah. Did you notice another thing? Did you notice how similar Mihawk and Trafalgar Law look like? I don't know, like, and then plus Mihawk has like a cross as a sword, and then Law has crosses on his sword, and like both of them are like I don't know. I have a theory that Mihawk is a D. Like a lot of people have been theorizing that,
No,
but
no,
I
he
don't
could
know.
be a D, but he I don't think is like lost dad or nothing. But he might be a D though,
Yeah,
because we don't know his full name. But I think one interesting thing about Mihawk is his location. You know where he lives. You see that's foreshadowing to his backstory. But I can't really, we don't have it. I don't have enough information to form a good theory. But it's interesting that he chooses to live by himself in this creepy place, just in the castle alone, with just some baboons around him and all that.
yeah,
So
and it's really dark too. It's crazy.
yeah, I have a feeling that the foreshadowing is there. It's like it's there, and when we understand Mihawk's backstory, we're gonna be like, oh, why didn't I see it coming? Because Oda does this all the time. When he foreshadows stuff, when you finally connect the dots, you just face palm like, oh, it was so obvious. Why didn't I see it? It's crazy. Like, why don't I get ahead of myself? But well, I mean, I might as well. I mean, it's a Shichibukai stream, but one example is Oda. He did this panel where he drew all the Shichibukai as kids, and this is the original Shichibukai before what you call it, before
For
Buggy joined.
Blackbeard,
No, before Buggy joined, he drew Blackbeard alongside them, and he drew Crocodile, but he basically drew all of them as kids. And when he drew Doflamingo was sitting on a chair, and there was a palm trees behind him, and he had a bit of dirt on his face and all that kind of stuff. And that was foreshadowing to him being exiled from the celestial dragons and all that type of shit. But I thought he was just playing and he got dirty. I didn't really think that far that because I was like, it's Doflamingo. There's no way he could possibly be a like, because Doflamingo just doesn't look like someone who was ever broke. So that didn't really click to me until we saw his backstory. So it's just tiny things like that we have to be on the lookout for. But I think the only other character that he drew that looked kind of interesting was, I would say, Blackbeard, because basically you just have Blackbeard sitting down and he's looking up at the moon, and that's basically what Oda drew. So that's more foreshadowing, but I don't know what the connection is there. That's not enough information, but
I don't know.
that
Maybe
is
that
interesting.
could be showing that he's from the moon. I don't know.
Wait, I don't even. I'm not even sure if he was looking at the moon, but he Oda drew the moon, so that must have been important. But I think he was
Yeah,
sad or
it was
crying
like
or
a
some
crescent
shit.
moon outside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyways, back to Mori. Sorry, back to Mihawk. People have this theory that what happened to Zoro's eye is, in fact, he has unlocked that Mihawk eye type of shit. You think that's the case?
Uh, what I think is that I know this might be crazy, but Mihawk seems like the type of guy to do this. I think that after they finished training, like Zoro's last day there, I think they fought like seriously, and Mihawk cut his eye. That's what I think.
So you think there's no power up? It's just he just got fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, that's totally possible. That's totally possible. I just I'm in denial, I guess. If that's the case, then it's just me being in denial. But I want Zoro to have a power up really badly because I don't know. It's just I don't know. Zoro has so much durability that he just doesn't get. He just won't lose an eye just like that. But I mean, it's Mihawk, so it is what it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does have some kind of power up or some shit. But I don't know. But yeah, even Mihawk, like Hawk eyes, like his eyes and shit. We even saw at Marineford, he could like see hella far when Luffy was trying to run away from him and all that. But maybe that's just observation haki. But it didn't like it didn't. He didn't close his eyes or nothing. He just straight up focused and saw Luffy.
Yeah, his eyes were like dilating. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, another thing about Mihawk is like I want to see an island after him and Shanks like fought because they used to spar. And according to Whitebeard, whenever they deal with each other, it was like some legendary shit. So hopefully we get that in a One Piece movie or something, just for the fans. But yeah, that
I
is
don't know, cause
interesting.
I don't know, because back then they could have been really weak. Well, not like really weak, but they could have been like as strong as Luffy right now. I don't know if that can be
No,
strong too.
no, they could have been weaker than they are now. But YBM said that the duels they had were I'm not sure if this is the exact word, but he said something along the lines of they were legendary. So that implies that they were at least strong when they were dueling for them to be classified as legendary or famous or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is interesting, and it kind of makes sense because King's Hockey alone isn't enough for Shanks. He needs some kind of fighting ability, and so you know, uh, having swordsmanship on par with Mihawk, I think that's fair. Plus he has the whole King's Hockey thing going for him. Now he did lose an arm, but according to YB, he hasn't gotten any weaker, so that implies that what you call it. It implies that his swordsmanship and King's Hockey are just ridiculous, to that extent where even if he's using a one arm style, uh, or just a king's or whatever, or maybe it's either he uses a one. He's always used a one arm style with his swordsmanship, or his king's hack is the main source of his fighting style. That's his main weapon. Is his king's
Yeah.
hockey because
See,
the number of arms you have is unimportant in terms of king's hockey. But that's another interesting thing about king's hockey is Goldie Roger when he fought Shiki, there was some kind of storm or whatever, which caused the whole accident with Shiki. And it was an unexplained storm, quote unquote. But I think that was King Saki. I don't think that was just a coincidence.
yeah,
Cause
I think with King Hockey too.
yeah, cause Dragon did something similar where he was changing the weather and shit. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Dragon is the one who summoned the lightning to strike Buggy at Log Town.
Yeah, but I think the dragon had the Earth fruit. What about you?
Earth.
Yeah,
I think I'm not sure if he has a devil fruit, but if he had one, I would assume it was a wind fruit.
I don't know, cause like he wears green, and green is usually affiliated with Earth. I, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if he was an admiral, we could say that, but he's not an admiral, so it doesn't necessarily have to go, together with his dress color. Hmm. Earth. So it would be Logia Paramecia.
It would be a Paramesa, cause like I actually have evidence behind this too, cause like I was doing my research. Like I watched the beginning of One Piece again, right? And when Luffy was fighting Axe Hand Morgan, Axe Hand Morgan was like devil fruits. They have the power to yeah, you can have the power to breathe fire and create earthquakes, something like that. And like, did you notice how Ace and Whitebeard had those powers? And then
Yeah, that was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and
Foreshadowing.
then like now Sabo and Dragon are basically the new Ace and Whitebeard. And with
Hmm.
Earth fruit, you can create earthquakes with a land.
Well, here's the thing though about Dragon is he doesn't need a fruit to do earthquakes. He has his whole uh, dragon fighting style that Sabo's been using in the Colosseum.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
true.
can do
Yeah, yeah.
similar things. But speaking of which, like, and Sabo's just his apprentice, and see Sabo's already crushing metal with his bare hands, and all, and this is hot. This is metal that's been hacked up too, and it's from both Burgers, and but still they're not, they're not slouches.
Yeah, Sabo's a
So
problem, man.
Sabo is a problem. So just imagine how ridiculous Dragon is. And this is, Sabo. I don't even know how much, because Dragon's obviously a busy man. So he probably hasn't even taught Sabo like half the stuff he knows.
Yeah, that's crazy. You think that he has a first commander?
Nah, I think Sabo is the top. I think my theory is it used to be Kuma, and his third in command used to be Ivankov. So basically, you have Luffy, Dragon, Zoro, Kuma, Ivankov, Sanji, and that's another reason why Zoro fought Kuma. That's foreshadowing that Oda's trying to do.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's my whole theory. And we have, Sanji, Ivankov. So it's Oda does shit like that. And I could definitely see that happening. But for reasons that we both know, well, well, I'm not quite sure why Ivankov left the revolutionaries, but I do know, Kuma had to do the whole pacifist thing.
Yeah, like yo, I think Kuma had to do that because his power is really strong. Like when he fought Zoro, he said that he can deflect air at the speed of light. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. He was. I mean, he was so fast. He was so fast. He popped up and had a conversation with Rayleigh. Right beside Kizaru, and he wasn't even worried. He just left. Like, you ain't gonna
Fucking
catch me.
crazy.
And he described it as the power to deflect anything, and that's literally what he did. He slapped the pain out of Luffy. He asked them where they wanted to go and shit. He has one of the most hacks abilities in One Piece, and I think Oda turning him full pacifista was just a way to control him because there's two. That's one thing is, that's credit to Oda as an author because one thing is very often when you have OP characters like Superman and the Flash, the writers end up having to do a lot of bullshit to sort of downplay them because these characters are super strong. So it makes no sense. You have Flash fighting characters like Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang, all sorts of nonsense when, he can move faster than the speed of light and shit. Like, it makes no sense. So you have those kind of problems come by. I mean, same thing with Superman. He can dodge bullets, but he can't dodge punches from some, giant or whatever. It's all this dumb shit. So Oda did it really well. You have a lot of plot holes that come up uh, when you have really strong characters, and that's the same thing he did with Kizaru. Kizaru has the best fruit pre Fujitora. In fact, no, even with Fujitora, it's still speed of light is speed of light. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he can blind you. He can do so much. He has the best fruit of any admiral. But Oda purposely made him, the way he is. He purposely gave him that carefree character so that he's not too much of a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think the Kizaru is the strongest in the One Piece verse. That's just me.
I mean, he has the potential to be the strongest, but he isn't because of his character. He's too relaxed and stuff. Like, if Akainu had Kizaru's food, every pirate on Earth would be dead.
Oh
He
my
wouldn't
God,
sleep.
yeah,
Akainu, man. Akainu is. I've always liked him, and the reason why I liked him a lot initially is because I like good villains, and I thought he was a really good villain. And I knew a lot of people would dislike him because he killed Ace and all that shit. But that just made me like him more. Like a villain is supposed to be just evil and rotten and all that kind of stuff. And that's a kind of and that's and one interesting thing about a kind of is technically he's doing the right things. He's going after pirates, which are criminals. So, but he's doing it in such a twisted way. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
imagine if he was on Dressrosa. Oh my God, everyone would be.
Oh, if he wasn't Dressrosa, Law would be ashes. He wouldn't, Fujitora. Fujitora. That's one thing about Fujitora. I think he's been on the Straw Hat side for a long time. He's just trying to play it so that it looks as if he is not helping them, but he is helping them in tiny ways. Like he never really went all out against Law, even when he clashed with Zoro. He clashed with Zoro once. Zoro came back for the clash, but he didn't, pursue. He didn't really make any extra efforts to take out Zoro. Same thing with Sabo. He was playing around with Sabo, and Sabo was like, "You're lying." But basically, it was a very similar situation to when Marco and Kizaru fought on Marineford, where both of them were like lying to each other about how strong the other character was and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
oh, it
that's what.
hurts.
That's the one thing I like about Oda. He really made the animals' personalities really good. I love all of their personalities.
Yeah, yeah, I love the person. Yeah, the admirals are done perfectly. Like Oda, just he is. They are done so well as characters. Like it doesn't make any sense how good they are. And when you look into how deep and how much detail Oda put into them, because they actually, they're based on Japanese actors, right?
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, and if you like, let's say let's take Aokiji for example. He's based on a Japanese actor, and that Japanese actor was famous for doing detective, stuff. So let's say it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? If he made Arnold Schwarzenegger as an admiral, he would most likely be like a cyborg. So that's basically how it is. or be some kind of bodybuilder or some kind of shit.
Yeah,
But the admirals, their personalities are uh they're both reflective of the animals, but also the actors and also the colors, everything. It just the order pays way too much detail. Like there's so many tiny details. And one thing that really surprised me, I think the yeah was the whole Usopp thing. I don't know who spotted it, but someone spotted that every lie Usopp has told has come true.
yeah, that's so
Apart,
true.
apart from the jokes like I have blah 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 disease, but apart from that, every lie Usopp has said has come true. It's crazy. Actually, I have a theory though. What
What theory?
if, what if, like I just thought of it now, because I was saying the only exception to that thing where every lie Usopp says has come true was that I have blah 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 disease, right? And what cures diseases is gonna be the cherry blossoms. So what if when they reach the island with the cherry blossoms, that's gonna be the time where Usopp finally becomes, brave once and for all? Because that's gonna be towards the end of the series anyway. So that's not a bad time for Usopp to become brave.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where Roger and Whitebeard were sitting. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a nice foreshadowing from Oda because that's another interesting thing. They were sitting there. Roger told Whitebeard, "I'm dying," and we already know that and he said that the doctors have no cure for his disease, blah blah blah. And we know, from Chopper and from Doctor Herlock that those pink cherry blossoms cure anything.
Yeah.
So that means that what Roger was talking about
Mm,
wasn't an illness, it's
I'm not
something
hungry.
else.
You're not hungry?
Mm,
Taco lo que
no.
¿Quieres one tamago? Claro.
Yeah, so it's basically something else apart from you know just a regular disease. But yeah, whew, yo, we've gone on quite a tangent. I think we should go back to what we're talking about. Well, how did we even get here? I think we're talking about Mihawk, then shit. I don't even know how it got here, but yo, it's been really interesting. But anyways, I
Yeah,
think
yo,
we've
my
covered
bad, my
Mihawk
bad.
pretty much. No, no, no problem. But I'm
Yeah,
trying to think. Is well,
the
what I'm
Mihawk
saying.
one. I was gonna say like, you see when Mihawk does his slashes, you think he could? You think he has Conqueror's hockey on that?
Mm, I mean, if he has King's Haki, I wouldn't be surprised if he has King's Haki sword techniques. But it's really, does he have King's Haki or not? Because like I said, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be strong to have King's Haki, and you don't have to have King's Haki to be strong. I mean, look at
Yeah,
when Ace did it. Ace did it when he was a child. Doflamingo did it when he was a child as well. You're either born with King's Haki or not. You when you unlock it, that's a totally different thing. You might unlock it whenever, but you're either gonna be able to do it or you'll never be able to do it. It's one of those things.
yeah, I know what you mean, but like, it's the effects when he does it. Like when he swings his sword, like it does the exact same sound as when somebody does Conqueror's hockey.
I didn't notice that, but well, one thing I'm wondering about is killing intent. Killing intent. That's basically what Zoro's been using. That he hasn't knocked out anyone with killing intent, but he's made characters freeze. He made the Celestial Dragon and Sabudi freeze before Jury Bonnie stopped him from slicing them, and then he made Monet freeze and Punk Hazard, and
I don't
both of
know.
those were
I think
with
I
killing
think that
intent.
might be like I think only Zoro can do that because he's the only one that's been doing that.
No, no. Here's the thing, though. When Zoro used it on Sabudi, it was Scratchman the Pooh that pointed out that was killing intent. So that means that it's some kind of martial art type of thing, and most likely it was Mihawk that I guess trained him on how to use his killing intent whenever he wants to use it. That is, during the time skip. Before the time skip, it just happened occasionally, just when he was in the mood to use it. But like now, he can do it on command apparently.
Yeah, when he did it on Monet, yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though if Zoro got King Saki at some point. But I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if anybody got it. No, I would be obviously if like I'd say if Nami got it, I'd be surprised. Usopp not so much, and the reason why I wouldn't be surprised about Usopp is because Usopp has, he's in the same boat as Buggy. Even though he's a joke character, he has, you know, he knows how to get people to follow him, and he knows how to sort of lead these people that follow him. We've seen him do with the giants, we've seen him do with dwarves. It's very similar to the whole Buggy thing. So if Buggy's gonna get Kingsaki, which he might, and then Usopp is pretty much in the same boat. If Brook had it, I'd be surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sanji got it and not Zoro. But I don't even think Sanji's gonna get it. Like I really think Usopp. No, sorry, I think Luffy is gonna be the only Straw Hat with King Saki. And Zoro is just gonna have killing intent. But
Oh,
if Zoro did get it, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, whatever.
yo, like I just thought of something. Like I think that Zoro he does have something behind his eye because like I have a theory that Sanji behind his eye. You see how like since the time skip his eye changed. So like
Yeah.
I think that he's hiding his like death wink. I think he got that from Ivankov. That's my
Yo,
theory.
that's a crazy theory, bro. Shit, I never
Yeah,
thought of that.
yeah, cause like maybe Ivankov made his eye look like that too, so he got embarrassed. So he changed it.
Um, I mean, no, but there is a problem with that though, which is that one reason why Deathwing works is because Ivankov has a big head. So basically, he's just batting his eyelashes, and he's doing it so fast that it creates a sort of thunderclap type of sort of.
No, no, I swear that was Galaxy Wink. They're two different things.
No, no, Galaxy Wink is just when he does many of it at once. So it's kind of like comparing a pistol to a Gatling gun.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Galaxy
right
Wink
now.
is when you see plenty Ivankovs. So I mean, no, Ivankov might still teach him some kind of technique involving eyes, but I mean, and Oda could. I mean, he might have it, but it would just be a contradiction from what Oda. I mean, Oda would have to come up with some kind of explanation or whatever. But in any case, you're speaking of Sanji. Your Sanji's been getting wrecked since post time skip, but
Yeah,
in fairness, all the L's he's taken have been justified L's. Against Virgo, it just means that Sanji's armament isn't about that life because all that really happened was he lost the clash, and that's because the reason why he lost is because when they clash, his bones are breaking and Virgo wasn't. So clearly Virgo had the advantage.
no, yo, but like, did you like? Hey, I recently watched the fight again, and when I watched it, Sanji knocked him down twice.
Yeah, yeah. Sanji was putting in work, but at the end of the day, Virgo's armament was superior, so he couldn't be clashing legs with Virgo, because he'd be damaging his own legs in the process. But at the same time, uh, Sanji, I wouldn't say Sanji necessarily went all out or anything like that.
I don't know.
Uh,
I think that's a contradiction. You know why? Because like Ivankov, like I think he has top tier defensive capabilities. Like for example, when he took that Fire Fist or Magma from thing Akainu.
mm,
So like, if Sanji's defensive capabilities aren't top tier, I'm gonna think
no,
that's a
no, no.
contradiction.
Sanji has defense; they're just not armored. So you see, Oda said in one of the SBS things, which are like when he replies to fan mail and all that kind of stuff, he said that Luffy will be the King's Haki specialist, Zoro will be the armament specialist, and Sanji will be the observation specialist. So it's not to say that Luffy doesn't have armament or observation, and it's not to say that Sanji doesn't have armaments, which he does. What Oda is basically saying is from the crew, most likely those are the best. So Sanji gonna have the best observation in the crew, and out of all the hakis that Sanji can use, he can use observation better than his armaments, and Zoro can use his armaments better than his observation. And it kind of makes sense because he's going to be the person fighting Kizaru. And we've also seen Sanji show a lot of observation feats throughout the series, such as like he always knows where to go to find stuff, like in Alabasta when he found that house with the telephone in his lobby when he was able to track Robin, tiny things like that. And then
Yeah,
we see some
and
we
like
see
since the
some more.
time
So,
skip,
yeah,
he's been finding every single girl that's been screaming.
yeah, 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 exactly. But yeah, it's just tiny things like that that Oda's been doing that I really haven't been picking up on until I started noticing shit. It kind of makes sense since he's the observation specialist. So I'm looking forward to it. But um, I'm really just I just want to see Sanji go all out because even Zoro hasn't gone all out, but he has used one of his strongest techniques, one of and at least one of which was the stuff he did to Pika, which was ridiculous. But imagine if he did that with Ashura, because like the way I think Ashura works is basically just nine swords. So it's basically just three times as much power as Zoro's regular Santorio form. Because his Itorio stuff, his one sword attacks are weaker than his two sword are weaker than his three swords. So nine swords is just insane, and that's why he was able to one shot Kaku once he popped Ashura. So just imagine that stuff he did to Pika if it was an Ashura form, because he definitely still has Ashura. So I want to see how it is post time skip. Most likely we'll see it in Wano Kuni because Wano Kuni is all about the samurai. So I think Zoro is really gonna shine in that arc. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like you said, Zoro with his Ashura, but like I think people are overestimating him. Some people are saying he's close to Luffy's level. I don't think he is. You think he is?
Wait, you said what about Zoro?
Like people have been saying, like ever since they saw him cut a Pika, they've been saying that Zoro's close to Luffy and stuff like that. You think he's close to him? Because like pre-time skip when Zoro fought Kaku, they said that Kaku was half of thing's strength Lucci's, and Oda
No, but
usually takes
no.
the
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Zoro versus Kaku was nothing compared to Luffy versus Rob Lucci. Luffy almost died in that fight. Zoro, he was getting, he was eating the attacks from Kaku because
yeah,
of
but that was
the.
so high difficulty though.
It wasn't as high as Rob Lucci versus Luffy because consider this: after they fought, right? Zoro still hadn't. He was still okay enough to go and help out the crew fight vice not vice admirals, captains and those lower rank marine dudes. He was fit enough to go and help out the crew. Same as Sanji. Luffy was almost dead. He was just laying down there, and if not for Usopp giving him motivation, he'd have probably taken that out. So you know,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
because like if Luffy fought Kaku, he wasn't gonna one shot Kaku or nothing, and Luffy might have even lost because he has nothing to do against Kaku's techniques. Because Kaku's making round Kaku's bounce all over the place and shit, and there really wasn't much Zoro could do apart from one shot them. What she did with Ashura. So, I mean, that's how he had to win. You see, it's interesting. It's a similar thing with Das Bones. Like if Zoro didn't one shot Das Bones, he wouldn't win because Das Bones was too good. Das Bones wouldn't have gotten hit twice, and Zoro couldn't afford to get hit, get an extra hit, or he'd have lost. And I think that's a similar thing with Kairos versus Diamante. Like Diamante was so much stronger than Kairos that Kairos either gonna one shot them or he's gonna lose. And that's basically a similar thing that happened with the Kako thing. This Kako was just a problem because he could just do all sorts of Rankiaku shit and just bounce them all up and down. Wait, were they rank? Yeah, they were Rankiakus. Yeah, well, he was a problem. Jabra versus Sanji, that was pretty one sided. Like Sanji
Like
had very little
this,
difficulty.
this
Like
is one
Sanji
thing.
was playing
This is one
around
thing
with
I've
them.
noticed. It's one thing I've noticed. Like people have been saying that Zoro and Sanji aren't close, but like if you take it in pre-time skip, whenever Sanji fought someone, like remember
No,
the
no.
fights with
Here's
Kiiro?
the thing. Here's the thing with Zoro and Sanji is out of the monster three, it's rock paper scissors. That's how it is. It's rock paper scissors. They're all kind of within the same level, but they have different. You could say statistics and all that type of shit. So let's say Sanji. Let's if Sanji's the Sanji has probably the lowest durability and the lowest destructive capability. But what he lacks in those two things, he makes up for it in his observation and the speed and the other stuff he has going for him. Then Zoro is kind of the opposite. He is like more of the tank of the crew. He has all the bulk and all the destructive capability, and then Luffy is right in the middle. He has both speed and power, but he isn't quite as I would say as powerful as Zoro. He's most likely faster than Sanji, but post time skip is hard to say because Sanji has some really ridiculous speed feats post time skip. He can skywalk now. I mean, he was running so fast that he just started flying. That's how he unlocked it. So that's
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Plus, he was blue walk, which is him uh moving faster than a fishman underwater, which is unheard of. So Sanji has speed feats, and it's all aligning with the whole Kizaru thing.
yeah, but like at least you understand it. But like some people don't understand it. They think that Sanji's not close to Zoro. Like
Now it's rock paper scissors. It's the matchups. Like Sanji, Sanji wouldn't have beaten Das Bones because Das Bones is metal, and Zoro was gonna unlock that technique to beat him. Even Luffy wouldn't have beaten Das Bones in Alabasta. It's just the matchup, you know. Uh, and I think Luffy versus Crocodile is bullshit, so that's a bad example. But let's take Eno, right? Eno would have lost to Zoro, and he'd have lost to Sanji too if uh if either of them ate the Gomu Gomu, because I
yeah,
think
that's yeah.
they are superior hand to hand combatants. They're superior martial artists to Eno, but you see that's the thing with both the Crocodile and Eno fight. Luffy basically got artificial sea stone. He basically negated the devil fruit abilities. He was able to punch Crocodile, even though Crocodile was a Logia, and same thing with Enel. So they basically the devil fruits kind of went out the window in those fights. Although Luffy got that work from Crocodile, but Enel's was just really really bad. But that's basically the whole gist of it. Is it's all about matchups, and as the captain of the crew, obviously Luffy, it's only fitting that Luffy takes down the strongest person. So it's not that Zoro would have lost to Rablucci. Is that Luffy is the captain, so he has to take out the biggest, the big dog, and that's just how it is. That's pretty much that's the whole gist of it, really.
Yeah, but like I think in the new world that might change. Like they might like face different people.
Hmm.
Cause like
What
look at
what you
when it
mean?
started. Like Zoro faced Hody Jones. He was the main villain. When Dressrosa first started, Sanji faced
Oh, I mean, no,
Zoro.
he faced them, but like what you call it? But Luffy still the one who took him out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I know what you
Yeah, yeah,
mean.
yeah. The final fight, not just clashes, because I mean, Fujitora is stronger than Doflamingo, and Zoro is the one who faced Fujitora. Yo, Fujitora, this dude is people disrespect this dude too much. They don't understand how hacks he is. Like, how do you beat gravity? That's what I said. Like, it's him and Kizaru. He's up there with Kizaru in terms of hacks. Like,
I don't
yo,
know. I'm gonna have to disagree on that because I think if you're a
what?
Logia, I think if you're a Logia, gravity can affect you.
No, gravity affects everything. Gravity even affects what you call it, light. That's why dark holes are black because of this insane gravity, or at least that's what scientists say. So that might be BS. But apart from Kizaru, gravity affects anything with molecules is affected by gravity. So
Yeah, but like I mean, like
that
in terms
applies
of
to
One
the
Piece,
majority.
I mean, like in terms of One Piece, like when Sabo was getting attacked by him, he went intangible and then he came back and he kept on doing that. If you know what I mean. So I don't know.
Oh no, no, no. I mean, I'm not saying that he can hack you up his gravity and attack you. Yeah, there's definitely that, but he doesn't have to do that. He can just send you to space, and you're done for. It doesn't matter what kind of logia type you are. I mean, the thing is, it's whether gravity is going to affect you or not. Like, let's say electricity. I'm not sure if gravity affects electricity. I'm not sure if gravity affects light. But for most logias, they're going to get affected by gravity. And if Fujitora sends you to space, you've lost. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that's the thing. He's casually bringing down meteors, so he can easily do it reverse. Because we've seen him levitate battleships and all that kind of stuff while eating ramen and bringing down meteors. Like he's just on another level, and he has just a ridiculous. Well, that's one thing though. He might not have a devil fruit. It might be some Wano Kuni shit, just like Kinemon. Kinemon doesn't have the Mirror, but he has fire techniques.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's
this
what.
could be
Yeah, I
Yeah,
made a theory on that. I made a theory that it's his sword because whenever he does gravity, he also pulls out a sword.
yeah, he hasn't used gravity without a sword yet. Plus, Oda hasn't dropped the name of the fruit, which he would have done by now. Oda. I mean, Oda has had no reason, not to drop a devil fruit
Yeah,
name yet.
and Zoro keeps on saying, "Oh, he's using that strange power." I think Zoro would have known it for the devil fruit.
Yeah, exactly. So and this could be foreshadowing. Maybe Zoro's gonna get the power up on Wano Kuni, like when he learns. Because I think, right, I don't think Zoro's gonna be able to just copy what Kinemon does or copy what Fujitora does. I think it's an individual thing, and that could be where Mihawk's power comes from. Because I've always had this problem in my head, right? No matter how good Mihawk is, Zoro still has three swords. Like, so when Zoro is even close to his level, Mihawk should kind of lose, because there's a lot more Zoro can do. But
Yeah,
when you have this stuff where you have a secondary power, you see, this is what Oda's doing. He's adding all these secondary powers in post time skip because we've seen that with this whole Devil Fruit Awakening thing, and what Oda's done because Zoro has no Devil Fruit, so how is he gonna stay on Luffy's level when Luffy's doing this Devil Fruit Awakening shit? It's with this stuff, with this whole Kinemon Fujitora shit. So Zoro's gonna, I guess you could say, awaken his swordsmanship or whatever it is, but he's gonna learn his own thing. And I think it's unique. I think it's that might be where Ashra came from. Maybe that's Zoro's version of what Kinemon does.
yeah, but like you said, like Kinyumo, those are elemental stuff, kind of. So what do you think Zoro is gonna be?
If it's an element, I think it's gonna be green, something green. Like I think Oda would try and keep it. We'll try and make it green or green or black, one of those two colors.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if Zoro got a. Oh my God, the element.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, you see, and then if Zoro's gonna get a power up, then you best believe Sanji's gonna get one too. So that's another interesting thing. So I mean, maybe after Wano Kuni, we're gonna get something with Sanji. But I
Oh
have a
yeah,
theory, right? I have a theory, which is that post time skip is gonna parallel pre time skip in some sense. So I think next arc is gonna be Zoro's time to shine. I mean, outside of the Mihawk fight, obviously. And who was the first crewmate to join? Zoro. I mean, after Luffy, technically, because
yeah.
Luffy was, yeah, and Luffy's gonna shine in this arc with Gear Fourth and shit. Next arc, Wano Kuni, Samurai Place, Zoro gets to shine. Then we're gonna have the third Straw Hat to join, which was I think technically Nami. So maybe we're gonna get some Nami stuff after that. But anyways, I think that's the order we're gonna get shit in. But that's
Bro,
just a theory, though. I mean, it could
bro,
happen however it wants it to happen. But that's a theory I'm going by right now
like
because
I used to think that, but like recently, like last week, I went on Oral Jackson, right? And I saw a theory. It was a theory like whenever you have samurai, you have ninjas too. And Sanji, he's always represented as being a ninja. So maybe Sanji could get his arc like in Kano Kuni. I don't know. Like that's where ninjas might be. I don't know if that
yeah,
makes
oh, that would yo you know I think a Ninja Island would be crazy because that's gonna have I guarantee 100% we're gonna get some Naruto Easter egg if there's a Ninja Island, which like you said, it's not far fetched. If we have samurais and mermaids, we can easily have ninjas. Uh, it's totally possible. It's just 100% possible. But I think it's more likely that if there are ninjas, they're going to be in Wano Kuni. I don't think Oda's going to bother splitting them up
Oh yeah,
like that.
yeah. That'd be crazy because Sanji's always seen as a ninja, you know.
Yeah, and people have this theory that what you call it, that Sanji is literally a prince because he was called Mr. Prince in Alabasta, and coincidentally, his bounty poster got messed up. And who else has a messed up bounty poster? Usopp. And what's up with Usopp? Usopp has uh, Usopp's dad is Yasop, and I think if Yasop knew that his son was out doing what he does, then definitely it would make sense that he would try and reach out to Usopp, but maybe with the whole Soga King disguise, obviously he's not going to recognize someone behind the mask. So I think that was Oda's play with the whole Usopp thing. But the Sanji's thing, it could just be comedy, but it could also be a similar thing, except that because we don't know. You see, that's one thing we don't know shit about a lot of the Straw Hats. We don't know a lot of their parents. We don't know
Yeah, that
Frankie's
pisses me
parents,
off.
Ami's parents, and it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yo, like, yeah, I heard of the theory that Sanji's a prince, but like people are saying he's from royalty. But I have a theory that he's a part of the mafia, like his parents, because there's been a lot of foreshadowing about the mafia. I don't know. I think
I mean, mafia. Like, I mean, with Capone, I can definitely see a mafia because I mean, you don't just have one mafia. There's always several mafia houses. So Sanji he could be mafia.
yeah,
He could be, and it's not. You see, another thing is let's say he is Italian by One Piece standards. Italians make good chefs and all that. So I don't know. That's not a bad theory. It's not a bad theory. Hmm. But I think going back to Mihawk, is there anything else to talk about concerning Mihawk?
I don't have anything else.
Nah, no, nothing else. Well, okay, one thing which is, let's assume, right, because of Devil Fruits and Devil Fruit Awakening, we're gonna get this whole Wano Kuni, Fujitora Kinemon shit with Zoro. What do you think? Mihawk being the best swordsman in the world, he likely has his own shit. So what do you think Mihawk's would be? His
Oh,
power from his sword or whatever. It's gonna be
um,
ridiculous.
if Mihawk, I would say honestly I can't think of one, but it has to do with black. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it would have to be hacks as hell. It would have to be hacks as hell. Hmm. Not sure. Not sure. Cause yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, next Shichibukai. So the next Shichibukai is, well, in order of appearance, after Mihawk would get Crocodile. Although Jinbei was mentioned before Crocodile, but it was just mentioned, and basically that was when they were talking about the warlords. They talked about Jinbei, and then they talked about Arlong, but we never really see Jinbei until Impel Down and shit. So we're gonna skip Jinbei. We'll focus on Crocodile. Crocodile, what do you think is up with his hook, man? How do you think he lost his arm?
so personally with that, I think that Crocodile might have gotten into a fight with Whitebeard and he lost it like that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. Some people say that he hasn't lost his arm, that he actually has his arm there, but he is so strong that he can't really control what he does with that arm, because we've seen that he can do some shit with his other arm, which is to drag people up. And people are saying, some people at least, that the other arm has a different power, and it's so powerful that he has the hook thing on to protect the people around him. And let's assume this is true, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any theories on what it could be? The power?
Um, if that was true, I would say maybe that
Maybe poison, because I mean the poison did come out of the hook eventually, didn't it? But I think the only problem with poison is it would be kind of recycled, since Magellan already has it. Uh, so yeah. What else about crocodile? I think that crocodile and dragon have history together. I think they were either rivals or best friends or something along those lines, and that's the reason why Crocodile saved. He cared so much about Luffy back in Marineford, because he didn't give two shits about Ivankov, and he sure as hell didn't give two shits about the revolutionaries as a whole. It wasn't until he found out that Luffy was Dragon's son that he started caring, and going the extra mile and going the extra distance to make sure that Luffy was protected and all that kind of stuff. So I think he either owes Dragon a favor. Maybe Crocodile was Dragon's right hand man of revolutionaries, and they parted ways because they had different ideals and different ways of tackling things. Because consider this, right? The whole Baroque Works program was they basically wanted to start a revolution on Alabasta. So he was basically doing revolutionary stuff, but he was doing it, I guess you could say in a sort of dishonorable way, or you could say basically just, in the wrong way, the way that you wouldn't expect the good guys to do it. So I think he most likely was a revolutionary before, either that or he and Dragon planned on starting a revolutionary army together, but they parted ways because of different ideals and stuff.
My bad, bro. My internet went out. My bad.
No, no, no problem. I was just saying, right? Crocodile. I think that he and Dragon, um, they were either rivals or they were close friends, or he was Dragon's right hand man. One of those three things. And that's the reason why he was helping Luffy out. It wasn't. I don't think he cares too much about the revolutionaries, but he does care about Dragon to some extent
Yeah, I
because he
agree.
helped
Cause
Luffy.
I agree. Cause do you notice like when Robin met the revolutionaries during the time skip, they were like, "Oh, if we knew that you were with Crocodile, we would have met you earlier." That's what they said.
Oh yeah, that is true. But yeah, but consider this though, like the whole thing that happened in Alabasta, that was Crocodile doing revolutionary stuff. His whole thing was he wanted to have a perfect world, a utopia. He wanted to make Alabasta perfect, and so he started a revolution. So he was basically doing revolutionary stuff, except that he was doing it, kind of the wrong way with all the plans and schemes and doing this, that, and the other. And technically, King, whatever his name is, Nefertari or whatever,
Yeah,
he's one of the world nobles. So he's basically in the same boat as Wapol and shit. So you know, if Crocodile was on Drum Island, he'd have been a hero. But because he was on an island that had a ruler that was actually a good guy, he was kind of the anti-hero or the villain, depending on how you look at it. But that was the whole plan of Baroque Works, was just to improve Alabasta by making their own by overthrowing the government, starting a revolution, and they would use the ancient weapon for military power, because without military power, the world government is just gonna conquer them again, because King Nefertari and his family, they're world nobles. So that was the whole plan of Crocodile.
yeah.
So
Plus,
he kind of wasn't a villain when you think about it from that sense. He just might have been doing things the wrong way, and that could explain why I guess you could say, left the revolutionaries. Maybe he and Dragon had an argument about how they should approach things, because Dragon's method is different. Crocodile, he's gonna sit down and scheme and come up with a plan and all that. And Dragon definitely plans as well, but Dragon is more upfront. Like, if you want to join me, join me. That's kind of what he did in that. What's the name of that place? Great Terminal.
he's very different from Crocodile. I can see that.
Yeah, because like he already knew, like he knew that Ivanka was a revolutionary, but he didn't really care. But once he found out that Luffy was Dragon's son, all of a sudden he switched up. So I really think they have some kind of history.
Yeah, before you were asking me what do I think behind Crocodile's hand, like what's behind his right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, maybe when he takes away that thing from his hand, maybe that's how he awakens the devil fruit. I don't know.
Mm.
That'd be
That that
crazy.
that's that is that that's possible. That is possible.
But I wouldn't like that. You know why? Because like when he's facing Luffy, why didn't he do that? You know?
Well, that's the thing though, is that the whole theory is that he uses the hook to protect people around him, and because Robin is valuable, because like if Robin wasn't there, he'd have killed Luffy easily. But he has to be very accurate with his techniques because of Robin's there. Otherwise, he could just spam sand until he kills Luffy. But you can't be that careless with Robin around.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, he should have beat Luffy regardless. The whole fight was a plot hole. The whole him losing to Luffy was just some bullshit. But uh, if we wanted, come up with an excuse, that's kind of what I would go with. But Das Bones, like it seems like it seems like Oda is sticking with Das Bones as Crocodile's right hand man, and my problem with it is it seems like the gap between them is humongous. It's not like Zoro and Luffy, or yeah, it's huge. So I don't know what Oda's gonna do, but I mean, one thing though is with this whole awakening thing is if Das Bones gets awakened, he's gonna be a problem. If he can make blades come out of anywhere or whatever, like I don't know what Oda's gonna do,
That's
obviously, but
crazy, bro. It's gonna be some
he could
Byakuya shit.
that's exactly what I'm saying. He could be a real problem with awakening, and with Haki too. His whole fighting style is just gonna he's just gonna be on a whole new level, like full body armors, and he's also a sword at the same time. Like he is a problem, uh, with the right training and all that. But in overall, I mean, him and Crocodile, the gap is just humongous.
Yeah, it's really big, yeah.
You see that now that is what I would say. Oh no, I'm not. I was gonna bring up a really bad point, but anyways, yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen concerning that. Obviously, the rest of the Baroque works they went their separate ways. So I wonder who else Crocodile's gonna add to his crew. Because most likely it wouldn't be just those two, just two of them. And also, I wonder what
Yeah,
Crocodile's goals are. Like what does he plan on doing? He's no longer Shichibukai. What's he trying to do in the new world?
people have come up with theories that he might join the Straw Hat crew, but I don't know. I don't think so.
Nah, you see, people people go too far with all these new Nakama theories. Like people don't understand, right? The more Nakama you have, the harder it is for Oda to write the story. Look at Dressrosa. If all the Straw Hats were on Dressrosa would have lasted like 3 months, because they'd have just ran over the Doflamingo family. You
Yeah,
know,
Sanji would have. Oh man,
I mean, the Don Quixotes are nothing compared to the Straw Hats, apart from Doflamingo himself, obviously, and maybe Virgo. And I mean the execs they weren't. I mean the top execs they weren't terrible either. But for the most part, if the Straw Hats were there, they'd have just it would have just been a train wreck. And so like we've seen this problem on Dressrosa, and even in Punk Hazard, like Oda had to do the whole shambles thing and split them up because again the Straw Hats working together is too strong for Caesar Clan to handle. So it's really hard, and when you add more Nakama you're going to have an even bigger problem. But in fact, more Nakama I'm not too worried about it as long as it doesn't happen way too often. Like it needs to happen slowly. But the thing is more that it's more people want every single person to become Nakama. People are saying that Rebecca is going to be new Nakama. Like, come on, this bitch can't even fight and you want
yeah,
to.
yo, I made a theory recently about Jinbei being the next Straw Hat, cause like I don't know if
Well,
he's
he,
gonna
he
make
he
like
is he is the. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna join the crew as the next person, but he confirmed the Fishman Island that he's gonna join them.
no, but yeah, I know, but like yo, there's actually evidence like he's the 10th one, cause like in his cover stories, like 3 times there's been a kid with a number 10 shirt on it. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh yeah, like ten is a fine number. Like the thing is, there's really little that you can add to the Straw Hats. All they really need is maybe some more people of different species, like
Whoa, he found a putting
which
glass,
which
man.
Jinbei fits perfectly. But I think the problem about Jinbei is it's way too soon for him because of how strong he is, and like I said, there's already no. I think after Joshua, so obviously we're going to enter the new world properly, and we're going to see a shit ton of insanely strong crews, because of all this awakening and all this kind of crazy shit. So I'm looking forward to future arcs, but right now it's way too much. If Jinbei joins, like the monster trio haven't even gone all out except for Luffy, who was fighting a Shichibukai, and there's only like seven of them. You know what I'm saying? So most people who Luffy's gonna fight in the new world are gonna be they're not gonna be on Flamingo's level.
Yeah, I think it won't be too soon, but like I think after like another arc, Jinbei will join.
I think if Jimmy is joining, it's going to be hmm, I can't say which arc he's gonna join in, but I think the best two arcs for him to show up would be, well, actually there's three. The first would be Wano Kuni, because he has this whole Japanese vibe to him, so it would kind of fit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The next would be Big Mom, because he had business with Big Mom, and the final would be the Arlong rescue arc, because Arlong was not on Impel Down, so I think he's a slave. He is literally going through the whole Fisher Tiger shit. Like he is up with the Celestial Dragons,
Oh, that'd
getting
be
slaves and
crazy.
shit. Because he wasn't at Impel Down, Otherwise, he would be back in Fishman Island or some shit.
Holy shit.
So I think
Okay.
once he was captured, like he's back to square one. And so there's gonna be some kind of crazy rescue arc or whatever. And Oda's gonna do it somehow, but he's gonna make Arlong, be on the same side as the Straw Hats, which is ridiculous. If you look at Arlong's past, it's pretty crazy. But Oda's gonna do it somehow. And shout outs to Anime Super Dude. He joined like 10 minutes ago, but I've been talking. What
Yeah,
up,
I
dude?
didn't want to interrupt, man.
No, 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 no problem. Yo, we've just been talking about the Shichibukai, and we've deviated quite a lot, but that's because it's One Piece, man. We've got a shit ton of stuff to talk about. Right now, we're on Crocodile. We've talked about Buggy, Mihawk, and now we're on Crocodile. You have anything to say about any of those three?
I'm just afraid that after Luffy defeats Doflamingo, Doflamingo is gonna turn into these other characters that are gonna become allies of Luffy. That will definitely piss me off, man. Definitely.
Nah, I think it's gonna happen, just not soon. Like if you look at the Crocodile thing, that didn't happen until the end of the time skip in Marineford. So there's still plenty of time for him to stay on the bad side.
Mm. But
I,
I
I
just
can't
feel
see that happen.
I just want Doflamingo to die as a villain after he's defeated, because that would suit him. I mean, this chapter, I will say it was a hype chapter, because now we have like Jesus Burgess. The
I
action was,
honestly, I honestly didn't expect Doflamingo to come back from that ass whooping. I thought he was done for last chapter.
and also like his abilities are hacks because when Law, what did he use? Radio, was it radio knife or something like that?
Gamma knife.
Gamma knife, yeah, and his strings somehow what able to detach itself back together. Um, uh, so I think Doflamingo's abilities are hacked. So I was thinking that Jesus Burgess will go for Doflamingo's ability.
I'm
Um,
gonna read the comments real quick because I've actually been I've been so distracted because we've been having a really long conversation. So has a Hasif, shout outs to him. First comment is, so you think Crocodile's excuse for saving Luffy is that he doesn't want the Marines to have it their way is fake? I don't think it's fake, but I just think that his main reason was, I mean, I definitely think he has some kind of beef with the Marines, some kind of history with the Marines, but I think the main reason wasn't because of the Marines having their way. It was because otherwise he would act like that towards everyone in Marineford, because that and everyone who was against the Marines. But he was specifically helping Luffy out, and that's because of Dragon. A second comment. It's possible that not every fruit can awaken, since Luffy claimed that on rare occasions the fruit can be awakened, but I doubt that. I think the reason why it's rare is more of, I guess you could say, uh, expertise with devil fruits. Like I think anyone who classifies as a devil fruit expert or master should be able to awaken the devil fruit. And that's why it's rare, just because Crocodile said in Alabasta, most people, they are content with the devil fruits. They don't bother to go the extra distance. So I think Crocodile can definitely do some awakened shit. But I don't think it's gonna be too common. I think we'll see more of it. I think the Yonkos, the ones who have devil fruits, can definitely awaken shit. Uh, Admirals definitely. Kong, if he has a fruit, definitely. And CP0, if they have devil fruits, I would not be surprised if they can awaken shit. But if they can't, it's all cool, because I mean they have martial arts on the side anyway, so they're gonna be tough to beat anyways. Crocodile for Nakama, you're chill.
Well, Wadatsumi can't enter Fishman Island, and him and Jinbei seem to be together at the end of the cover story. So the goal probably isn't Fishman Island. Yeah, no, no. If they go back to Fishman Island, then that's going to be going past Luffy, and so that means it's going to be forever before they meet Luffy. So I don't know about that. I mean, basically, I'm agreeing with you. Blah blah blah. Luffy's too twisted to follow someone like Luffy, especially since he's a D. You see, I mean, you could say the same thing about uh, Crocodile, but I guess Crocodile isn't really twisted. He just was a villain. But I mean, sheesh, anything can happen, man. I mean, he has a really weird backstory. You see, the thing about Doflamingo is I haven't really pitied him yet. I was expecting to get some kind of pity towards him, but that hasn't happened yet. You know, who knows? Maybe that's what Oda's gonna do within the next few chapters because we're not gonna get a chapter that's 100% dedicated to a fight, such as Sabo versus Burger. So there's gonna be some other stuff in between, on some of the other pages during the chapter. So maybe that's gonna be it. I don't know. Yo, speaking of which, I don't know what those gladiators think they're gonna do against Doflamingo. Like they are on some shit. They're on some drugs.
Yeah, some people said that's gonna be like Madara versus Alliance.
I mean, Doflamingo back 20 years ago, he was controlling an army, with Parasite. Like,
Yo, be careful, man. Don't some of the guys that are attacking Doflamingo's got hockey, man. What's that guy's name with the lipstick? Was
watch out!
attacking
Watch,
Rebecca?
stop! Stupid ridiculous. Nah, I mean, shit.
So remember that guy? Remember that guy
I
that
mean,
was trying to attack
Doflamingo has King Saki. What am I saying? He's just gonna King Saki them out the
Yeah,
way.
but, like
Yo,
these are not fodder though. Not easy
they
to
are
stop.
fodder. Stop. They are fodder. Come on, bro. But like the thing is, regardless, right? Regardless, Doflamingo's not gonna have a problem with them. So like, what they like. 10 minutes is way too much time. They cannot stop him for 10 minutes. He can do fucking break white or one of those techniques, one of those techniques where he has like a shit ton of strings, just coming like in a wave and just plow through them. Like there's way
Bro,
too much stuff.
Sabo's gonna
Way too
attack
much
both
stuff.
of them. It's gonna be crazy.
I was thinking about that. But the thing is, if Sabo does that, then he is basically like he has stolen this whole arc from Luffy. Even though Luffy's done all this gear forth and shit, people are gonna remember this. Sabo taking on Burgess and Doflamingo simultaneously. If they're gonna forget all the
Nah,
damage,
man.
they'll forget the damage that Doflamingo's taken, but they will remember. They just remember that Sabo taking on the Shichibukai and Yonko first made simultaneously to protect Luffy. That's what they're gonna remember.
But how can they forget Gear 4 Luffy, man? They won't, bro. I
No,
doubt it.
they won't forget it, but like the first thing they'll think of will be Sabo taking on both of them. But I really don't think Sabo's gonna take on both of them anyways. Like obviously Dofi is weak, so Sabo
We
can
got
take on him,
Fujitora though. We got
Burgess
Fujitora.
is no Fujitora. He's not doing anything. He's leaving everything up to the Straw Hats.
Yeah, but I think he might just actually protect Luffy right at the end and sort of like
That's. I mean, it's not a bad theory, really. It's not a bad theory. I mean, he is on the Straw Hat side, so and he hasn't really done like he even though he's on their side, he really hasn't done anything to say, okay, I am on the Straw Hat side, apart from saying, he trusts them. Apart from that, he really hasn't done anything. So it could happen. It could happen. Yo, speaking of burgers, this man jumped from the top of the palace down to the floor, bro. Shit.
Oh my god, bro, that's legs.
or
Yo,
someone said
his tiny legs too, because how Oda draws them characters. He got those tiny toothpick legs, bro, and he
man,
jumped.
Jesus Bird is 4 meters tall, man.
Yo, he threw a hotel at 8, bro. This dude is. People downplay Burgess, like he is disrespected way too much. Like he is not weak. Sabo is strong. That's it. Sabo is just strong. It's not that he's weak. Like shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, like his body seemed weird, like Blackbeard's too. You guys notice that?
Yo, like he looked like he could pick up Luffy like he was Lego, bro. Like he was just
Yeah.
huge.
I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't notice how big he was until I saw that last. Well, it wasn't the last panel, but
That panel where he
the
attacked Luffy in it, and just
yeah,
before
the one
Sabo
where he
came.
just where he burst. Yeah, exactly. One where he burst out the wall, bro. It was like, now you die, straw hats. We have house. Something like that. I was like, shit, this
Yeah.
dude is big. He is like the Incredible Hulk or some shit. Like he is on some. Yo, and I got a theory right now, bro.
What's that?
You know that pouch he has on his back, right?
What? Say that again?
You know that pouch that Burgess has tied around his neck, the back of his
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah.
has that devil fruit design on it, right?
Yeah.
I think there's devil fruits inside it, but they are empty devil fruits. So his plan is to kill Luffy. Then the devil fruit, goes straight to the devil fruit in Burgess sack, and then Burgess eats that, and that's how he gets the powers. Because I used to think that it was the yami yami, but now it's evident that you don't need the yami yami to get someone's powers like so easily. Like so that's probably how Blackbeard did it.
No, but you know what? So what you're saying is he's got one of the devil fruits.
He
Some of the
has it's similar to the whole smile thing, except that I don't know where he got it from, but it's basically it's an empty devil fruit. There's no power in it. So when because that's how the devil fruits work. When the user dies, the you could say soul of the devil fruit goes to the nearest suitable one.
yeah the nearest fruit, but it's like an actual fruit, so it could be an apple or a banana or
I
a
man, I
orange.
don't, I don't know if it's any fruit, but in either case,
It's
whatever it
compatible.
is,
It's a fruit that it's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
compatible
yeah,
with.
whatever it is exactly, he has a compatible fruit in that sack around his neck. So his plan is to kill Luffy and then eat that junk and have the Gomu Gomu thing.
You guys think that he took trouble with devil fruit?
No, I mean, that is if he can find pieces of trouble. Like this dude, he fucking blew himself up. Plus his fruit, I mean, I don't know. He could. I mean, who for all we know, he could have a shit ton of devil fruits in his. Like he could have a combination of both compatible fruits and like fruits that already have people's powers in them in the sack. We don't know what's in the sack, but that's my theory. Like I always thought that it was the yami yami, but apparently it's not. And then I just thought about the whole, you know, uh, basically how Caesar Clown makes the smile or whatever you call it.
Mm.
It's basically with that principle, something along those lines, basically that he basically makes compatible fruits, and for some reason Zoans go to those ones, I guess, and that's why you go the artificial
What? So what you're
Zoans.
saying is what's his name? Blackbeard created an artificial fruit,
No, no, I don't know if he created or found them or
or
whatever.
like
I don't know
not
what he
like
was.
like man-made some sort of fruit that's empty.
I don't know whether he made it himself or whether he bought it from someone or whatever, but that's basically the concept. That's what he did. Is that he killed Whitebeard and the Gurgura entered the fruit and he ate the fruit. And that's what Burgess wants to do to Luffy because he doesn't have the Yami Yami. I used to think it was the Yami Yami that he sucked out the fruit or some twisted shit, but it makes so much sense now because like Oda talked about it in the whole Punk Hazard arc about how they make. I know when Law was explaining. I mean, Law didn't explain it in full because Oda still hasn't gone into details about Devil Fruits or as a whole, but that was the general gist of it. Oh no, I think it was about no, that wasn't it. It was when they explained how Doflamingo had the mirror, which is that Oda explained that when someone dies, the powers of the thing go to the nearest compatible fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later on,
It's
what
the
Law
same
said was
thing.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, similar thing.
we actually discovered that during Punk Hazard arc. Because remember, if you remember, Smile, what was it? The Smile, was that
Yeah,
thingy?
yeah, yeah. Law said that she's a clown smiles. They're based on Vegapunk's inheritance theory or some shit like that.
Yeah, and then there was an apple, and then after that
Yeah,
thing died, the apple became his fruit, the fruit basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. We saw that with she's a clown.
Mm.
Yo,
But
what do you guys think if Burgess was to get double for? Which one do you guys think he would get?
Well, Which one would I want for burgers? What I would want for burgers would be something to do with wrestling, bro. This dude's a wrestler. He needs something to do with wrestling. Maybe a wrestling ring fruit, but that doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah,
It's
The reason why I asked
mm,
that is
that
because
that's a filler. That's a filler fruit, man.
yeah,
the
no, I
reason
was
why
thinking like room. Oh, what are you saying?
I was gonna say the reason why I said that is because I saw a theory where people were saying he's gonna get Marco's food because if you guys notice, he's
Shit,
the second
nah.
commander and like on his hat there's a phoenix and on his belt buckle there's a phoenix.
Eh, I mean,
So
Yeah, he
it's
means
not
like
exa-
his title. Yeah, his title belt.
it's not exactly Phoenix, but I think in any case, like I don't know, man. Like that fruit belongs to Marco, bro. It shouldn't be on anybody else. Like it's two hacks. That's one thing, and the second thing is like Marco has the swag. Like he has enough swag to rock the fruit, and
yeah, yeah.
it really should. But I think but it's still a good question though. Like what fruit would be the best for Burgess based on his fighting style? You know,
Oh, Son Goku?
and
I don't know.
mm, I mean, a Zoan wouldn't be bad since he's a melee dude, but Zoan's a kind of shit if we're being honest. That's kind of a waste. He might as well just go with a Paramecia or a Logia, I think. I think the
Yeah.
Paramecia would be the best, but what kind of Paramecia? That's the thing. Hmm. Well, I mean, to be honest, we haven't really seen Burgess fight. All he's done is throw elbows and throw hotels at people. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's physically built strong, so I think he
Hmm.
wants something that a fruit that is uh like basically that's like him that has his character like Luffy's fruit, for instance, the gum gum fruit. You know, like he
Oh
can
shit! I
expand
think I
his
think I
fist and all that.
yeah. That's it. Like the reason why the Gomu Gomu will be so good is because, like you said, Burgess he's a melee dude, so the reach he would get, the reach advantage he would get from the Gomu Gomu compensates for his weakness, which is that he has to be close range, otherwise all he can do is elbows,
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's good. Either something to give him mobility or something to give him reach. So if it's not a Logia or Paramecia, if it's a Paramecia, then Bogi's fruit or Luffy's fruit or something that give him teleportation or mobility, something like that.
Especially with that gear second, that will make him even faster.
Oh shit, yeah, he would be a problem with Luffy's fruit, but
Because
it would
what
take time though
he's
because I
already
mean
hacked. He's already strong built. The guy's a
I
monster.
am so hyped for next week, bro. Like it's because the thing is, this dude he is the first commander of the Blackbeard Pirates. He is no joke. People are really sleeping on him. Like I know, I believe Sabo's gonna win, and I also believe Sabo is most likely a stronger character overall. Uh, or it's gonna be a sort of Zoro Sanji situation where Zoro has stronger durability and so Zoro basically wins the matchup. That's basically it in a nutshell. But that's not really the case here. It's simply just Sabo being on the next level. So far, I mean, we haven't really seen Burgess go all out, so that's why I'm just so hyped to see this because he is gonna go all out. Best believe he's gonna go all out real soon. Yeah, I'm gonna read the comments real quick. So how's it first see if we got some more people jumping in. Or it's yeah, so how's it first see if I'm pretty sure Burgers has a few types of fruits in his which will hold up. I need to. Yeah, so basically, Hazard First Safe says, I'm pretty sure Burgers has a few types of fruits in his pack, not just a single type, as well as a mix of a few double fruits. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Like, where has Burgers been all this time? Why was he in the underground? Now, what's up with the underground? Doflamingo in the underground. Doflamingo is the dude who had the Maramara, so best believe he's gonna have a shit ton of devil fruits somewhere in the underground. So that's probably why Burgers actually was sent to come to Dressrosa just to get a shit ton of devil fruits and go back to Blackbeard because Jinbei said on Fisherman Island, you know. that the Blackbeard Pirates are hunting devil fruit users, you know. So the Marimero is just icing on the cake, really. I don't think that was the prime reason that Burgess went. Obviously, Burgess likes to fight, so the Colosseum was another bonus. But the main thing was always the underground to get those fruits. So yeah, I agree with you. I think he has a shit ton of fruits in that his sack, and he just has maybe a few empty ones, or at least one to get the Gomu Gomu. Oh, yo, Hajifat just said the diamond food would fit burgers. It would, but I think the thing about the diamond food is it doesn't really give. I mean, it's good with burgers since burgers is a meaty character, but it doesn't really fix Burgess's problems. You know, he still has to come close to you to do anything. So the matchup is the same. He's just gonna do more damage and take more damage. So that's why I picked the other stuff because the other stuff compensates for Burgess's weaknesses and all that type of shit. But anyways, what we're talking about again? Crocodile. No, no, no. Oh yeah. So Super Dude, what do you think about Crocodile in the New World? What do you think his goals are? What's he doing right now?
I mean, his goals at first was to make a name for himself. That's why he joined Luffy at Imperial Down to basically do him a favor, but also to take out Whitebeard so that he can make a name for himself. So when he went to the New World, people will like say, "Oh, that's Crocodile. That's the man who defeated Whitebeard," and then people would follow him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And to be a Yonko, you have to have hype. People need to follow you.
Also, you think he's gonna try and become a Yonko?
Well, yeah. Well, I think he wants to make a name for himself in the New World. Every big time pirate in the New World wants to be a somebody. I don't think Crocodile is gonna be like, oh, I just want to make money or anything like that. He wants to make a name for himself and be able to control some territory. So I think he would ideally want to become king of the pirate, you know, but he has to start it off um, as a Yonko, one of the Yonko. So he has to take someone's place. Whose place? I don't really know.
Okay, a quick question. Who do you guys think is stronger, Crocodile or Doflamingo?
The Flamingo
That was quick.
has to be, man. After what I saw
What
today,
about you?
what he did to Luffy, like how he got back up, he has to be him.
I mean, that's just durability, though. Yeah,
But to be
that's just
honest,
dur-
yeah, I could see why you would say Doflamingo is stronger.
What about you? What about you, Super Dude? Do you agree?
I mean, I don't want to agree, but I don't want to disagree. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just keep.
It's a tough call, but like if I would pick a devil fruit, I would pick Doflamingos over crocodiles. So
I mean, Doflamingo just because he's awakened his ability. Now he's almost like a Loki.
now I'm 100% sure that a crocodile has awakened stuff too. But like at the end of the day, I'd rather do
He's
all
got more
this.
tools than
I
you.
don't. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's so versatile, bro. Like I'm
His
sure
haki, all
I'm,
that. He's got all three haki
yeah, 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 yeah.
compared to yeah.
I mean, Crocodile could have King Saki because he did want to become Pirate King, and he is, a leader and not a follower. In a
Yeah, I mean, if
sense.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if Oda suddenly said, "Oh, Crocodile's got Conqueror's King Saki as well," but that would be late, man. Like I'd say, Crocodile is too late for the party, you know.
Yeah, I think the problem would be people would say, why didn't he use it against Luffy in Alabasta?
But then again, he wasn't really using his haki at all because he was using his Stealth ability to fight Luffy. Because that's all he needed, you know. Because his abilities work on rubber.
Mm. Well, who comes after Crocodile? Because I think we're kind of done with Crocodile.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bo
let's
Hancock?
see.
I don't know.
Was it? No, no, it wasn't Hancock. It was, I think, Moria. It must be Moria. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
It was
Egyptian.
actually no. It was actually Doflamingo and Kuma. Those are the next two to appear.
Okay, okay.
although we didn't really see them fight. So, anyways, we're already talking about Doflamingo, so we might as well continue, right?
Yeah.
So, Doflamingo, uh, well, we've kind of we've come up with a consensus that he is about that life, and he is generally stronger than Crocodile as of what we've seen, from both characters. Uh, and well, his King's Haki has been disappointing, but so has Luffy's, so it's like, whatever.
I mean, what can he really do? King's Haki, you can only take it so far, you know what I mean? If you're
No,
fighting against another
I think no,
king,
no, no. I think that this mod King's Haki is just too early. It's too early and too much for this arc to put
but
all this information. So I think in future arcs we'll see the next level of King's Haki. If not from Luffy, then from a different character.
I
But
think
I think there's more to it though.
when it comes to King's Haki, I think you can, like, there are different types of people are on a different levels basically of King's Haki. You have Shanks, who is at the top of his game, okay? Then you have probably Luffy, who's pretty much learned everything about King's Haki and where he could pretty much take it. And I think Doflamingo hasn't really fully explored his Conqueror's King's Haki ability to the max. You know, um, that's why we've seen him having awakened his ability because I think he's uh, trained his ability more than his Conqueror's King's Haki. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, I don't think you can say that because I think Doflamingo took King's Haki the farthest because he was the only one to break out of a devil fruit attack with his King's Haki.
Yeah,
Remember when he broke out of Aokiji's ice? So yeah, I
yeah,
think he took it the farthest.
yeah. You're right. Well, I mean, I
Hey yo,
think
but
that was a
but check
standard.
this
I
out.
would say that was a standard move though.
But no one else did that though. That's the thing.
Hey yo, but check this out though. Luffy has better King's Haki feats than Shanks.
Blasphemy.
It's true though.
How does he have a better?
All Shanks has done is knock out Fodder and Sea King and chase the Sea King away.
Yeah,
Luffy's
that's
done
true.
way more.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, Shanks hasn't done much, but then again,
It's
he
just
never
because
needed to
Shanks.
do anything. He never needed to do much, though. That's the thing. Like, he's not getting the opportunity. No one's really challenging him. When he went to, Marineford, who was really challenging him? Let's face it, Blackbeard left immediately. And
I think the best feat we could say was him and Whitebeard when they clashed and the sky divided. That's most likely a Kingsaki clash.
hmm.
Don't you think so? I mean, what else
Oh yeah,
could it
the
be?
splitting, the splitting of the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, that has. And we've seen different. We've seen Luffy clash Kingsaki with other people, but it's never been on that level. So clearly, both of
Luffy
those
just used
characters
his
have.
King's Haki to knock people out. That's pretty much what he did. And he uses Conqueror's King's Haki to wake up from the dead, because
Yeah.
when Monet hugged him and he was about to fall asleep, and then he uses his Conqueror's King's Haki.
Well, that's actually an anime only scene.
Really?
Yeah, that never happened in the manga, but I mean, it could be canon though, because that's one thing though. Like
Because that's the same thing that
it's
Doflamingo did, really, didn't like. He
no,
Yeah,
was
but
yeah,
that
like,
was in the
but
manga.
yeah, but that was in manga. But the thing though is like, even though there's some extra scenes in the anime, like it's kind of tough. Like I consider some of the extra scenes canon, but that's kind of hypocritical. Why should I consider some of them canon and some of them not? Why am I cherry
well,
picking?
no, no,
I guess
it's
I
not
guess
canon. It's not canon, but it's just that it's something that I would say can be done, It's Doflamingo did the same thing when Aokiji completely froze him and he broke out of the ice, and that was Conqueror's King's Haki
mm,
because his heart didn't stop beating. So I would say that um, it's not canon because it's not in the manga, but but I think it's an ability that Luffy. It's something that Luffy can do basically because it's
Mm.
similar to what happened to Doflamingo, basically.
Let's see. Virgo. Like I thought that the Doflamingo would have superior hockey to Virgo, and he might have. No, he doesn't, because I saw the
What
clip.
Armament Hockey?
Yeah, yeah. I thought he would have at least the same level,
Hmm.
but not inferior to Virgo. But apparently he is inferior according to the anime, because in the anime Virgo's armaments had completely different colors everybody else's. So I think that was kind of their way of showing
Well,
that his was on the next level.
well, his hockey was basically full body in it. His entire body was just black in
Now
it.
the thing is, anybody can be full body. Really, it's just applying it to your whole body. It's just that it's generally unnecessary, and the reason why he did
Do you
full body.
remember? Do you remember what was stated in this chapter, recent chapter, this one from this week? Was that if you use too much, like the previous chapter, yeah, um, Cavendish was saying something about, oh, Luffy is using too much, like he's spamming basically armor haki. And then this chapter we find out that actually if you use too much haki, you're gonna have to stop. Like you have to give it 10 minutes to regenerate your haki, which is kind of weird. But it makes sense because then it makes uh then you put a time limit on haki. So if you use too much haki, after a while you're gonna have to you can't use it.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because you're supposed to focus, because it's a technique thing. So
Yeah.
you can't focus forever.
Yeah, so
So 10 minutes is a
With
long thing.
Virgo, I think like he's got like he has the endurance, like
Mm.
it's like a guy who's running long distance, he can and he's still got stamina. He can still keep going. Um, and his he can so therefore Virgo can use his arm of hockey for longer, which
Mm.
is why he uses full body.
So do you think the flamingo's gonna die this arc or whenever? Because some people think that the flamingo's gonna die, but I don't think so.
No, Doflamingo can't die because like I think he plays a major part of the New World. So if he dies, oh no.
I mean, another problem is if he dies, Kaido's coming straight for a long movie, and they aren't already. They are not ready to take on even Kaido's henchmen, Because like Peckham's and Tamago, even though they're kind of garbage, right? The Big Bomb's messenger boys, their bounties are still pretty respectable. Like their bounties are just below or just above like laws, they're pretty damn high. So, even though they don't look that, like they're all that, Luffy is not gonna just roll over them.
Yeah.
He will have a problem. And again, they're not even all that. They're just messenger boys. They're like the Usops of a Kaido crew, you know? No, the
Yo,
worst than Usopp, because like Luffy doesn't ever send Usopp to do like to do all this kind of errands for him. So like they're just absolute trash. Yo, Kaido, oh shit! But no, that's there's way too much to talk about concerning Kaido. So we'll move on to the next Shichibukai, which is Kuma. So what are you guys' thoughts on Kuma? Like, what do you think about his fruit?
honestly, I think Kuma's fruit has to be like the top five strongest, one of the top five strongest in the show. And I just hope he comes back, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's definitely coming back. Um, and I don't think he is completely robot. I think they will find some kind of way of bringing his personality back. Some way, we'll find out. Because I think he has a really interesting backstory. But I'm not quite sure when we're going to find out about that. I'm also wondering who do you think is going to be defeat Kuma? Because I don't think it's going to be Luffy. Because Kuma has gotten weaker in my opinion. Because now he's just a pacifist with a devil fruit. That's not that ridiculous.
because the pacifists are going to be as creative as a human, you know. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Frankie fought him because they're both, you know, robots and shit.
But I don't know because if Frankie fights him, it's gonna be one sided, man. I can't. What can Frankie do?
I mean, it's post times for Frankie, and it's pacifist Akuma. Like he is very he's a pacifist. You know, Frankie can definitely beat pacifist, and he's just a pacifist of the Delford. So the Delford will give Frankie some problems, but it's not the end of the world. I don't think the pacifist is going to use it effectively enough to the point where we can say, okay, Frankie has no chance of beating him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yo, Frankie versus Senior Pink, I didn't like the fight for the most part, but like the ending was really, really good.
What? I love that fight, man. The flashback with Senior Pink, that shit was
No,
hilarious.
that's what I meant by the ending. Like I didn't like the parts before where they were just like dancing and shit, you know.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, like how what's his name? Kuma is still like can still use his devil fruit when really he's dead.
Well, I mean, he is not really dead. He's just technically unable to control. You know, he can compare to someone who was in a coma or paralyzed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that must suck though. Like you know those people who are like in the hospital that they're like paralyzed from the neck down and shit.
Mm.
That shit
Quadriplegic.
sucks. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. I didn't. Oh, yo, shout out to Unexpected Wonder in the
Hey,
building. Hey. Yo, we've been
yo,
talking about the Shichibukai for days, but we're on Kuma right now. We talked about Buggy, Mihawk, uh, Crocodile, Doflamingo, and now we're on Kuma.
I mean, what? All right, give me a rundown on your thoughts, cause y'all. I mean, I've talked about all of them. You know, I think Buggy's gonna be on the come up for real though. Y'all already know my thoughts on Doflamingo's a monster. Mihawk's without question. Kuma, you know, I
Well,
still
yeah.
don't believe in this dude.
Here's one thing that I brought up, right? Or we brought up, rather, is what you know Oda's going with this whole Devil Fruit and then Devil Fruit Awakenings, which is basically the Bankai of Devil Fruits, right? And then Zoro has no Devil Fruit. So the theory is that the Kinemon thing is going to be Zoro's version of his Bankai when he unlocks a secondary ability that he can use with the swordsmanship from Wano Kuni. And the thing is, if Zoro has one or gets one, most likely Mihawk already has one. And so, what do you think Mihawk could possibly have? Because I think Fujitora might have a similar thing. Like that might not be a double fruit. That might be some Wano Kuni thing. And I think like
I've been.
I think it's like unique to each person. Like I don't think anyone can copy what Fujitora does by any kind of training. I don't think anyone can copy what Kinemon does from any kind of training. I think it's specific to you.
I've said for the longest time, okay, that first of all, Oda, for him not to, because he mentioned Trable, now that whole parameciologia business was a while, but he never mentioned that Fujitora was rocking a devil fruit. I don't think Fujitora has a devil fruit. I've said this for the longest. It's probably hockey related. I
Bro,
don't
I
see why not.
bro, I completely agree with you because like I think I think so as well. I think like Fujitora's ability could be like a sword a technique, a, a mixture of a sword technique.
More than a sword technique. See, because if people pay attention, this dude was able to levitate a ship. That's part of the reason why people are saying this. But you have to remember, the abilities is so similar to both Golden Lion, Shiki, and Blackbeard's abilities. So it's like, wait. To have a devil fruit so similar, what's going on here? But I don't understand why people are running into devil fruits. Y'all are saying this awakening is like a bonkai. I disagree with that as well. Um, given the nature of the abilities. We don't know that. I will keep reiterating this till the day I die. We don't know enough. We really don't know enough about devil fruits or hockey to even make a comparison like that. Devil fruit, if anything, devil fruits have shown to me most wildest, all over the place stuff. I mean, Mac, let's look at Akainu. And Logia should be simple, right? This dude is literally sending giant magma fists. Fists? What is that? Crocodiles able to dehydrate pretty much an entire island. There's just so much we don't know. So let's just hold off. That's all it is. And Doflamingo, this dude's a liar too. Love him, but he's a liar. So
How's he a liar?
I don't trust what he says. How can you really trust what he says?
You just can't say he's a liar without proving anything, without saying anything.
What is he lying about, Wanderer?
Exactly.
What's he lying about?
Yeah.
One of the things I think he's lying to. Well, this may be old and misleading us. That whole Kuma situation, since y'all brought up Kuma, this whole mindless situation. You can call it mindless. I don't buy it. The anime hype played it up, but the manga don't lie. When we saw Kuma last, which was literally maybe a day at most on Saturday, Rayleigh was talking to Kuma. Sentomaru was talking to Kuma. Kizaru was talking to Kuma. And they were like, yo, and it hadn't been that long since Thriller Bark, mind you. And Kuma was completely conscious. They're like, what are you doing here? You have no business here. You're going to, Sentomaru's like, you're going to have to answer to the world government for this. And Rayleigh's like, yo, what's your play? And then, he was talked to, and then he began sending off the strats to their destinations. Where is this mindless? People want to say, I think Uma's been getting people for food.
Master, who cuts his hair now?
What?
Wait, what?
Somebody said something.
Yeah, what are you saying, you know?
Yeah, I would say, how would Doflamingo even know what happened? He even admitted he don't know.
Yeah,
the dude's run a giant Ponzi scheme for a decade. He's pretty much had the entire country under wraps. Even the world government, as heinous as they are, wouldn't allow some of the stuff that he's been doing on Dressrosa for a decade.
But if you saw the backstory of Doflamingo and how he became like the king of Dressrosa, before that he was basically like pissing off the celestial dragons.
Right.
So they were okay with him like ruling Dressrosa with an iron fist if he left them alone. Yeah, man. Haven't you read the backstory of Doflamingo?
Yeah, I've read all the chapters. But the thing is, no.
The world government, they don't really care.
Kiiro, be back.
Alright.
I don't really think the world government really cares, though.
Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
This is the same dude who stole tribute money from the countries. And you tell me they don't care?
I mean, he stopped doing that after he became the king.
How do you know that? What was that stated?
I don't know, but I guess otherwise, why would the world government be okay with him then?
Why would the world government be okay? All right, let's we brought it up. Let's look at the Shichibukai. Let's look at the original 7, right? Let's look at the original 7. You have Mihawk, the same dude who used to do daily duels with Shanks, red-haired Shanks, a Yonko. You have, we mentioned Doflamingo, who has a shady past to say the least. He's the one in question. You have the tyrant Bartholomew Kuma, who is at least associated with the Revolutionary Army, which is your supposed to be #1 antagonist.
Yeah.
You have Boa Hancock. She rules her own place. Let's see. Jimbei, Fishman Island, who's also an ally of the Whitebeard Pirates, another Yonko crew. Gecko Moria, he at one point fought Kaido. You have Sir Crocodile, who also fought Whitebeard. These dudes were not your friends. None of these Shichibukai were your friends. And you also allow for a situation to allow the Yonko to become a political factor in the New World. They established themselves as a political factor. 4 powerful pirate captains, the most powerful pirate captains, arguably. And they can't let Doflamingo assist them in a position. Super Dude, what do you know of in the history of piracy about the privateers? Because that's what the Shichibukai is supposed to be.
I mean, like I said, when we're talking about the tribute money that Doflamingo was previously stealing, all I'm gonna say at this point is this: this guy was allowed, to become king of Dressrosa, and I think like the Celestial Dragons would be okay with it because Dressrosa became part of the world government, whereas before it wasn't, was it? Wasn't it not? So
when was it stated? When was it still stated even now to be part of? Wait. Was it stated to be part of World Government? I don't remember that or not. I can't remember if it was ever
otherwise,
established.
why would Fujitora come to Dressrosa?
Because Doflamingo. Okay, the
If it
reason.
wasn't.
Let's get this straight.
Oh yeah, I guess Doflamingo abandoned his position as
Yes.
as the king. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he abandoned his position. But even then, you had CP0. You had CP0 coming to Dressrosa.
Remember what they were there for. People trying to make this elaborate. No, it's very simple, but it's very. Let's
Okay, how
remember.
can you say? How can you say? All right, even if it's not stated, okay, even if it's not stated, you got Doflamingo, who is a Shichibukai, so that means he is a government. He does what the government tells him to do. Okay.
Supposedly, quote unquote, he does.
Yeah. Well, he came to Marineford.
Okay.
Marineford, everyone had to come. If you didn't come, you would lose your position. It was just that simple. Okay.
Yes.
So you have Doflamingo, who's a Shichibukai.
Okay.
Who is the king of Dressrosa. Are you trying to tell me that somehow Dressrosa is not part of the world government?
Yes. And to I mean let's look at 3.
I mean, there's so much. The world government has influence over the Shichibukais. So
that's debatable. That's debatable. Well, because we've seen that the Shichibukai do with the world. They do what the hell they want. We've seen that. That's factual.
That is true. But there are certain things that they're told. Okay, there are certain things that they have to do, and I think even if the world government don't have Marines in Dressrosa, okay, based in Dressrosa, still that could.
It's not. It doesn't make it. It doesn't make it under governmental control. I can show you a few examples. Mihawk owns his own island. Okay, I know it's not really inhabited from what we saw, but still, he owns his own island. You have the Pirate Empress, Boa Hancock. Amazon Lewis, as far as I know, is not under world government jurisdiction. And factually, Alabasta with the Nephilim.
What do you think will happen? Let me ask you this question, Wonder. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. What do you think will happen? Yeah, if let's say. Let's talk about Boa Hancock for instance. If Boa Hancock, okay, they refuse to come to Marineford here, should lose her position, what would that mean? That would mean even though she's the queen of the women's island, Amazon Lily, the world government would still send Marines to that island in order to arrest,
But
um Boa Hancock. And
yes,
it would be the same for Doflamingo regardless.
that's
Even
exactly that's exactly why. But the
re-
reason it's not because
regardless whether he's a king of Dressrosa or not.
that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, Super Dude.
Yeah.
It's not world government jurisdiction that determines and dictates this. The reason they're going after these dudes, we saw it with Sir Crocodile, beautiful example. I know he wasn't technically ruling the Nefertari family, which is not a part of the world government, and that's completely factual, mind you. They're sent after, the Marines are sent after. Now, it's surprising with Sir Crocodile, I guess, because, they heard he was defeated, but whatever. The thing about it is very simple. They would go after Boa Hancock because what? She's the captain of the Kuja pirates. That's factual point number one. They would go after the Don Quixote family, the Don Quixote pirates, because Doflamingo, and they almost, see, here's the funny part about it. Even as, Shichibukai, remember what Fujitora said. Fujitori's like, yo, I hear, are you Joker? The leader of the underground world. If you were doing this, even if you were Shichibukai, there are some things that the title does not allow you to continue. There are certain lines you cannot cross. Yes, they're allowing him to, but remember the New World. There is a rule that Law himself spoke about. He said that to survive in the New World, and there are quite a few places who aren't under government supervision, like Wano Country, Wano Kingdom. In the New World, two ways to survive. Either, just like Luffy, you're either going to be going up against the Yonko, just like Luffy Kid and a few of them other ones, or you're under the Yonko.
Yeah, you're under the Yonko, yeah.
Simple. I'm sorry, that supersedes the world governmental control in the New World. Simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, Fujitora was sent there to either kill or capture Doflamingo. It's simple. People who think otherwise, I don't know what manga they're reading. I really don't. Cypher Pole Ages Zero. People are like, oh, they were there. They had to be there for more. No, because Fleet Admiral Akainu Sakazuki didn't even know that it was a hoax. When the Fleet Admiral doesn't know it's a hoax? Come on, man. That's all I'm trying to say. People got to look deeper. But yeah, Kuma. I don't buy this whole mindless thing. I think Kuma will re-up on his weaponry. And why would Oda make a character weaker? We haven't even seen really what Kuma could do. We haven't seen him pull off his shoes. But there's so much we haven't seen from Kuma.
Well, you think Kuma's still alive? You think Kuma is still alive though?
What do you mean? Do I think he's still alive? When was he ever dead? He's still a Shichibukai.
But last time I checked, he was dead.
Never was stated as dead. And the last time I checked, he was still a Shichibukai. He's one of these 7 Shichibukai. Post time skip.
Man, I actually thought this man was dead because at the time I was watching the anime, and when Doflamingo stated that he pretty much was dead, and then the flashback where he was talking to Rayleigh saying that I don't have much time, and then there was that time when he pretty much was protecting the ship.
Right.
Is that not canon?
He was protecting the ship, and trust me, I didn't see it so much in the anime, but the anime does, just like with Akainu. Akainu at the war only threw two shots, okay, and people downplay Akainu. I'm not trying to up him. I'm bringing the facts though. He did protect the ship.
And that would
And
have been after, right? That would have been after.
that was 2 years. He
That's
protected
after.
it for 2 years.
So that
Yes.
was after Marineford War.
Right. I mean, again, how in the world did Kuma even get? You know, there's questions you can be asked. You know, but see, even that they say, oh, Vegapunk made that one last conscious. What? Now, hold on. This is brings to another point, which is why I think I don't. While I don't think Dr. Vegapunk is a revolutionary, I think he's uh, associated to a degree with Dragon for a few reasons. Helping out the Straw Hats, which
I can't believe that. No. I doubt it, man. Because this guy is
why
world government, man. Well, I would say he's
and
world government. But
and
he's working for the world government. So,
and
and
so is
what?
Kuma. So is Kuma. And we've seen Vertigo, Vice Admiral Vertigo infiltrate the Marines.
Mm.
Seriously. And see, here's what's the real red target, the real
But
nail in the coffin.
he's building all these technologies for the world government
So
that they can then use to go after revolutionary army. So
last
what
time
you're
I checked, the world government ain't really been avidly going after the
yeah, they are.
the Revolutionary Army. Oh, really? Come on now. The Revolutionary Army are conquering the seas, more quote unquote.
Oh,
I haven't
actually,
seen.
territories of the world government, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
But
haven't seen.
they're doing it. They're doing it through the people, though. It's not them coming and saying we're the revolutionary army, join us. It's not
There
like
are
that.
parts of the Revolutionary Army. We've
They're
seen that
just
when Robin was on Whale Island.
yeah. Well, it's them spreading their ideology to the people, and that's how they're conquering those islands. So I don't think they're using